sheet. I guess there are two ways to create this CSS. One is to simply include the styling for your HTML content in your header, or other is to create an external file with a .css extension and link it into your HTML documents or pages, or that we have the link tag referring to the document and providing a relevance to the text or CSS style. But right now here it's very small application and a very small kind of logic need to be applied in terms of CSS effects. So I'm gonna write the complete CSS over here in head section. All we need is a style tag over here. So I create a style tag, and let's say over here in the style tag I'm gonna specify what type of style it is going to be, like text CSS it is going to be. It could be another type of styling also, like XSLT or other available kind of markup based styling sheets you can use. And all we need is to define how this particular content should be displayed. Like we have created over here a container and nested button and content inside it. Button further contains a text div, text layer that will contain all the text. All need to be wrapped, like you can see over here. It's coming over here, and now I want to place it like in this kind of box. So all the effect I need to apply on this starts from this container. So I need to define how the container should be, how it should be created like a box over here at this position. So I start with the styles declaration here, type equal to text. Here I say if I'm declaring an ID, it should start with hash. I say container, and if it's a class, it start with the dot. Okay, this discussion is not about the CSS or HTML, but still for those who are new to this CSS kind of thing and still are in the phase of learning, for them I'm just briefing the steps what exactly this thing is and what exactly this symbols and things mean. Okay, now here I specify the position and it's going to be fixed. Why I specified fixed? Because you can see over here this box remains fixed statically over here. That I will also show you that if you have a huge amount of content on your page, when you're gonna scroll it, still this box is going to be stick over here. It's not gonna move. As you can see there in that specific website also, I showed you that SRK Planet also, that box is going to be stick at the position. And even on Facebook you can experience that chat pop-up is not gonna move when you are going to scroll page from top to bottom. Like look over here, when I click on this follow button, it pops up this window, but still we are moving or scrolling across the page with the content, and this window sticks over here. For achieving this thing, what I suggest over here is to make its position fixed. And next is that where it should be placed. I say it should be placed to the bottom. It should have 0 distance, and from the right it should have 0. So what this means, this bottom and right, actually when you have this, consider it as the plain area where your text is lying over here. When you said that this position should be fixed, and you need to specify where it appears, like it can be considered as the left, and this side can be considered right. This is top and this is bottom. Very simple and common to be understood. And I say it should come over here. So what I said or wrote over here, you can see bottom 0 and right 0, means the distance of this content or this container from bottom should be 0 and right from 0. So if I have a content over here centrally located, and I say from bottom you have 0 pixel distance, so this content, like say you have a box over here, imagine it, from bottom you have 0 pixel, so it will come to bottom. And if I say from right you have 0 pixel distance, so it will be shifted to right corner. So you will have box over here of whatever dimension you are going to give over. Okay, so I guess you understood why I use this bottom and right property over here. Next thing is going to be what is going to be the width of this particular box, and here I specified 258 pixel. Why I specified 258 pixel? So let me show you one thing over here. At this moment you can understand that what exactly is this blue ribbon and what exactly this one light blue kind of thing. Actually it's an image. We are using over here not a simple image but a CSS image, a sprite. I will explain you the concept when I am going to come to that portion, but let me show you this image over here. This is the image I am using. Simply what I did is I opened or accessed my Facebook account. From there, from the chat window, I just hit print screen from my keyboard and I took a snap of these two portion. One is this, when the chat box is open, here was the chat username. I just removed it using paintbrush or any tool you want, you can edit it. And then is the simple, when it is in collapse mode, I took the picture of my or screenshot of my screen, and then I cut this portion from the window. After cutting it, I joined the two images in a one single image. Let me show you this here, and I will explain it why exactly I'm doing like this. Here you see the two part, first part and second part. The second part comes here and first part comes over. Why exactly? The logic, the idea behind it, you have to understand. Everything is embedded, the whole concept is around this image only. So I have created this image manually. You can create any image, any kind of button, style, good look and feel you can give to your application. Okay, so this image, what exactly I'm trying to explain, you can see over here what is the width of this image. When you click over here, the property, it says dimension is 261 in width and 53 in height. So it is 261, so I am just giving a size almost near to 261, that is 258 pixel for the whole container. Means this box, this image is contained inside a container. How you can say this image is contained inside container? I made this declaration very clear here over here. You can see I said a container is there which I am defining. Container will contain this button and content. So the container which I am defining is having a width of 258 pixel, and inside it we will have a button that is going to be of 261 pixel. Why the width of this particular button is 261 and why I am giving 258 pixel for our container? Cause you can see over here, over the container we have some border also. So to accommodate one pixel from both the side, it is going to manage it so that this is going to be like it's going to fit over here completely. See over here, you will understand as I proceed with the steps. Okay, so you see over here width I have specified, and thing is border that I was talking about. I specify 1 pixel as the border, like 258 width of the container is 258 pixel, and over it will have 1 pixel from left and right as the borders. Then another is what kind of border you want. I want solid border. You can have dash border, dotted border, or kind of if you want. And a color for the border. You can see here I try to keep it as much similar to as the Facebook chat window. So the color code for this I have extracted from the source of the Facebook. You can use any color you want, red, green, blue, all you can specify over here like this. But I want to give it the same look and feel, and the same color I want to maintain over here as that of my ribbon over here or button over here. So the color code for the same is as 3B5998. It's a hexadecimal representation for colors. You can use a name of the colors also if you know. Okay, red, green, blue, yellow, all will work. I will show you. I'll make modification and explain you once more. Okay, so let's see here we have ready the container. Only the container is ready. What container contain? I define container contain button and content. And I can see the most magical part of this whole tutorial is in the button. So I'm going to define this button next. Here in the button, the thing is I'm going to specify an image, background, URL, and here we can specify what exactly is the location of this image. Just I showed you this image. Once more I open it to show you the top part and the bottom part when it scrolls down. This image is nothing but a CSS sprite. Actually the idea is we can have two images, two different images, like say image 1 and image 2. We can say when it is going to be collapsed, show the image 2, and when it's going to be like expanded, show the image 1 or 2, whatever it is. So but rather than having this image 1 and 2 as separate part, the way we are designing web applications, or only for the presentation part if it is concerned, mostly the choice is to for the web developers or the web designers choice is to have a CSS sprite. CSS sprite, the term I am using very frequently over here. CSS sprite, it's nothing but combination of images, and mostly use in case we need to have buttons representing several states. Like for example, this is represented as a button which has two parts, 1 and 2. All we need to do over here using the magic of CSS and jQuery is that when you point your mouse and click on it, I will suggest to show one half of this image. Like say suppose this button has got height of 100 pixel. Okay, height 100 pixel and width is already discussed, that is 261 pixel. Height is, let's suppose 100. So we have this image, and I will suggest using jQuery when this particular button, this particular container is in the collapse state, show me this image area from 0 to the 50th pixel content. From, let's say this is 100 pixel and this are two images combined over here. 0 to 50 is the followers button, and 50 to 100 another portion of this remaining image, remaining sprite, rather I should use images is not better term over here, we call it CSS sprite, combined images. And the idea is that when this particular user first clicks on it, when it is in a collapse state, only 0th to 50th position of this image will be displayed, and when it is going to be expanded, 50th to 100th portion of this image will be displayed. This concept was proposed in nearly, I guess, year 2006 by a famous well-known developer, where actually what they observe is that when we have lot of images in our application and we need to try to access the website from several multiple location, every resource that is going to be served as part of your request is going to be treated as a separate HTTP request. Like if you have 10 images, small images in 10 parts being displayed, then these 10 images will be served to a client in 10 separate HTTP requests. That is going to have lot of performance drawback in case of an application when it is going to serve multiple requests, let's say 1,000 or more than 1,000 requests. So this idea was proposed in the industry and is being used in the industry since then, and mostly we use CSS sprites rather than having separate images. Rather than having 10 images, what we do, we create one image with 10 portion. Whatever the portion of the image you have to display, you can switch between this sprite, or if you need to display complete image, 10 separate images appearing on the website, but it's single image that has got combined images, so it will be served as one single HTTP request to make it more performance centric. Let me proceed on with so that the things will become more clear to you. Just have a concept that we have image that has combined two images. Now where exactly is the image? You can see over here I have this particular project in which I have this HTML file. Here let's say I create a new folder and let me call it resources. Okay, resources I'm gonna refer over here, and all I need to do over here, just copy this image from here to C drive. I guess I've created this pop-up test, so I come to the C drive pop-up test folder. Here you can see this index.html and res folder, which should be blank over here. Here I paste it. Okay, the moment I paste it, I need to refresh it over here to be reflected. So I click refresh and you can see this image comes over here. You can have simple folders and this files created into Notepad or any editor. No need to go through this ID or understanding the ID. The thing is, I have the image in res folder, so how do I refer it in place of this button tag? I mean this div area, that is nothing. You can see no content is there. Only this div is to give or make appear this button over here on the web page, either in the collapse or in the expanded state. So I say this particular button div that is being referred by this ID button background URL to refer to the image over here. I say dot, that is the current directory. Inside it look for a rest directory. Inside it look for the image name. What exactly it is? Follow sprite.png. This is the name of the image file I pasted over here. So exactly this image is going to be applied to the background of this tag, that is this div. In the container I will have a portion, a layer called as button. That layer will have a background of this image. Okay, next thing is that you have to specify its position as well. In respect to the container, the position for this button layer is going to be absolute. Why absolute? So that when you resize your window or you have lot of content, as I explained, and you scroll from top to bottom, this button should remain static inside this container. So for that purpose I specified its position to be absolute in terms of the container. Okay, next is very simple. Border you need to specify the none, cause we don't want to have any border around this image. Then we need to specify the cursor. Here you can see when I move my mouse over here, the cursor changes into a hand symbol. See, earlier in CSS2 most of the browsers support this cursor property with a value of hand, HAND, but nowadays this has been deprecated, and what we use instead of it is the pointer. This pointer type cursor is the hand symbol that you can see over there. Then I need to specify this width and height for it as well. So I say width is going to be 261 pixel and its height is going to be, let me show over here, 261, and this is going to be 53. No, it should not be 53 actually. Why? Let me tell you. What exactly is the current height of this image? You can see over here 53, but when this page is going to be accessed with this pop-up, only one of the portion, either this follow us area or this area need to be visible. And as I was explaining the concept, idea is to show at one click this portion, at another click this portion. I make an assumption over here, this 50% of the image area is this, but button, and 50% area of this whole image is going to be this portion. So I will just specify initial display of the button should be just half of the image height. What I have the image of the height here 53. If I take the half of this 53, that is going to be almost 27.5 or 28 kind of. So I specify a height of 28 pixel over here. Okay, why a 28? So that when this button is going to be displayed either in the open or in the close phase, it's just going to be having this half area only, not the full area. Okay, I will explain it when I come to jQuery how this would be happening. The half of the portion of an image can be displayed from the sprite, CSS sprite. We have this width and height specified. Then we need to specify its location in the container. In the container, where should button appear? You can see over here the buttons inside this container comes over here at the top. But one thing you note, when I actually this container initially is not displayed, its position is specified from top. It should be at like no position, it should not be displayed. Like imagine over here like this. Let me just scroll it down. This is your box, okay, and when it is in closed state, actually initial state, the image location is going to be like something like this. It is down over here. The image view position or view location is at, from the bottom you can say it is at 0th position. But this button that is inside the container, of course, is a bit up. If this is the bottom border of your container, this web browser, and this container contains the button, you need to specify in relative term this button should appear a little bit up and it should be visible, not the whole content. So what I'm going to specify here for the top position as minus 25 pixel or minus 28 pixel. Why minus 25? To get it accurately available over here. If it doesn't, we will adjust it 1 or 2 pixel later on. So I give it accurately minus 25 pixel. Let me tell you once more why minus 25. If suppose I have a box over here that contains another box, or let me just draw and demonstrate it to you. That will be perfect for you to understand. See here, this is your browser. Fine. Inside the browser, what you are having is a box. Let it be black only. Let's say I'm gonna draw another one with red color. This is your box. This box further contains an image that I'm gonna color something different to give you understanding of what exactly is happening. Okay, and here this button image is divided into 2 sections. Now initially where we want this particular box to be, when the browser is loaded, all we want is that this should appear over here like this. Okay, and you can see over here the very first property I specified for the whole container. Where is its position? From bottom 0 and from right 0. Why I said from bottom 0 and right 0 to here? If this is box, I say it should come over here to the bottom right. I say from bottom your distance should be 0 pixel, so it will come over here. From right it should be 0 pixel, so it will come like over here. This is what I specified. If you see over here, bottom 0, right 0, so it comes at this position. But if all the container along with the content, the button part and the content part goes down, you will have no trace of how to click on the link, or you will be provided with no presentable component to access it. So what we need to have, the container remains over here. We want only the button portion out of it to be little bit over here. What exactly the thing is, inside container we have this button. So relative to the container, I will specify the button's content to be a little bit outside this container. So for that, the top position of the button in respect to this container, top container, is going to be in negative terms. If it is positive, like say this is the button is at 0 position of the container, if I say 100, it will move 100 pixel below, 200, 300, 400. If I say minus 100, it will move outside this container, above this container. Of course it is inside, but logically it will appear that it is moving upward. Minus 100 pixel will move it here, minus 200 will move it much more up. So that's why I am specifying over here the top position for this button only to be minus 25, so that the button appears a bit outside. Even if the whole container is not visible to you, the button area will be appearing over here. This first part of the green box, this button will be appearing over here. The idea is like this. So that's why I am specifying over here the top position to be minus 25 pixel, and of course the right position is going to be 0 pixel definitely, cause of course from the right the distance should be 0. It should be at the top right corner of this container as well. Fine. So this is all about the button, and important thing to understand here is CSS only. Once you are done with CSS, jQuery is nothing, just single function I need to invoke over there. Next is the content. I guess I named it content over here. So you can see here, first part is container. Inside it I have two parts, button and content. Inside content I have text, which I will define further. So we have defined container and button. So next we define what exactly the content should be. I say content's width should be 100%, means the content that is going to appear over here, in our case this content completely, this is the content from follow to till here.com. all this content should acquire the 100% area inside our main container. Why inside main container? Because you can see the content tag or content div is layered inside this container. Here we have container containing button and content. So I am saying for content, the available room, the available area inside the container is whole area, it should cover 100%. Then I say here height of this should be 0 pixel. Right now I'm not specifying any height. According to the content you are gonna have inside that div, or you can simply remove it height. The content, whatever content you place inside div keeps on increasing according to it. I'm not restricting it to any size. Next is the color and kind of thing, like background color, what you want to have, you can specify background. Here I say white is going to be background, and of course the color, the forecolor, the text color, the same 3B5998. This is the Facebook color I cheated from, cause I wanted to just give you the same look and feel, so that you feel like this content are matching over here with the border. Like you see here, the border color is blue, and so the content as well. So I specify the background color to be white for this content, and the forecolor for the content inside this container should be blue, light blue color kind of. You can write over there light blue text also if you wanted to. And again here for beside this color, border should not be there, so I specify border none. Okay, you can specify border none, so that only this outer container is having a border. Inside it the button is there and a content area, both should have none as the border. You can see over here at top, here I specified container should have a border of 1 pixel of this Facebook blue color, and solid it should be 1 pixel, and inside it content and button should have no color. And beside this content I also have, you can see directly inside content I have this text contains everything. So for text, why I have created, actually I want to specify some padding, some margin over here. You can see over here some from left, right, top, bottom, some area I have left to give it actual good look and feel. So I define last thing text. In the text I just need to sell padding. I specify padding to be 15 pixel from the top, 25 pixel from the right, 25 pixel from the bottom, and 25 pixel from the left. Let me explain you the concept behind this thing, what exactly it is. Let me come back to the pen brush. When you have an element, any block element, what exactly is the padding? Suppose I have a piece of text over here, hell, let's call it. Okay, so inside this container by default this content comes over here at the top position. Okay, let me just select it from here to make it very clear. It comes or appears over here. Now to leave some margin, or not margin exactly, the padding is the area, the inner area from the inner wall of the container for the text. For the text I am specifying this text is nothing but a div layer named text over here. You can see over here I created in this such order that container contain button and content contain text, and this text layer needs some distance from this content area as well, like this, from top, left, right, bottom. So here this hell, what exactly I am specifying, the property for this text tag is something just the padding 15, 25, 25, 25. Now let me explain you. Actually first parameter, actually it takes 4 parameter, is the distance from the top, second is distance from the right, third is the distance from the bottom, and fourth is the distance from the left, which I specified space separated 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 pixel, 25 pixel, 25 and 25. It is always measured clockwise, like this, clock runs like this. So first parameter is specifies the distance from top for an element from its inner wall, and second is the distance from the right, third from the bottom, and fourth from the left. This is what I have specified over there, 15, 25, 25, 25. You can specify it or adjust it according to your requirement. This was my proposal to have 15 pixel over here, 25, 25 from here, and kind of 25 pixel from bottom. You can give it anything, but just you need to have the concept that is always computed from you can say from it is computed clockwise direction. Let me draw this for you, although not accurate, but you remember this. Okay, top, then right, then bottom, then left. This is what we have specified padding over here. Also, and this is what I require for now. This is for the CSS part and HTML part. Let's view it, the changes, local preview, test with the default browser, and you can see over here the content. When I click over here, nothing happens. Earlier the look and feel was something like this, that's why I didn't close it, and now it becomes something like this. You see the effect, the magic of the CSS. Main logic is behind the CSS. But when I point and click, nothing happens. Why this cursor changes? If you remember, I specified for the container, the particular or the button, this cursor is going to be of pointer type or hand type. You can also use. This changes. And why this content will disappear? Cause I have specified here clearly that when it is going to be displayed, the container, whole container, it should be from bottom 0 and right 0 pixel. It means it is hidden over here, this area which I drew over here, this particular container completely from bottom 0 pixel. So it comes over here, from top 0 pixel, from right, sorry, 0 pixel. So it comes over here, something like this happen. Oh wait, like this, something like this, from bottom 0 pixel and from right 0 pixel. So it comes over here at this position. When it comes over at this position, all I allowed, if you remember, button to have the location from top minus 25 pixels, so that it appears over here. You see here, I specified for the button part clearly top minus 25. If I remove this part, button inside the container will disappear, it will go down. And let me change it and show it to you. If I say minus 50, it will come bit up, a more up it will be appearing. I just save it, and coming back over here, I refresh it. You see, it comes up. So if I specify the particular relative location for this button, minus in negative terms, it comes up, up and up. But I just want to place it over here, and I accurately measured it earlier, so that's why I am recommending it. And you can, if you are creating your own button, you can measure it, divide it into 2 halves and specify it. All I need to do is to just make it appear only the button part, nothing else. Now here is the small logic that is required, so that when you point your mouse over here and click on it, it should come, the content should be appeared, and when you point to it, the content should disappear. At the same time, the button should change. It is the first half of the button you are displaying. When you click on it, second half should be displayed. How exactly this is going to happen? By the use of the power of this jQuery. And as I showed you how to and from where to download that jQuery, I have already downloaded that jQuery for you, and I'm going to just make use it over here, this jQuery min.js. I just copy it, it's around 84 KB in size, or you can come over here in your resources folder for the pop-up test, and you can test it over here. Coming back to your application, you just need to refresh a bit over here. Okay, so this is for the presentation part we have covered, that is HTML and CSS. Till here we have seen HTML and CSS.